I am so excited that we are entering year 2 of the support from the fireworks community team. I am so excited to have them hosting us today. They're a creative co-working space focused on supporting the local community and uplifting creative entrepreneurs. Get a free day pass. When you book with them, you have to use code DRIVE, or if you go to see them in person to visit their beautiful space and meet their awesome staff, tell them Logan from Your Morning Drive sent you, and you'll get a free day pass to try the space yourself. Fireworks Co-working in Marietta, Georgia.
Your Morning Drive is also present to us by Good Days Canned Cocktails. Good Days are a classic cocktail brand created in a convenient, ready-to-drink canned format for any occasion, whether it's a pool day, a boat day, a beach day, a graduation, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, anything in between. Good Days are there for you. Good Days are ahead when they are in your cooler, your fridge, your anything in between. Good Days has your back. If you want to be one of the first to try their drink, you can do so by visiting drinkgooddays.com/pages/find-us to find a store near you selling their drink. Of course, you must be 21 years of age to consume and purchase.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Your Morning Drive. I am Logan, your host with the most today. It is great to be back with everybody, coming to you from the Fireworks Studio in Marietta, Georgia. We are so glad that you decided to tune in today. Before we dive in, I have a couple of quick requests. First, make sure to hit that follow button or subscribe on your favorite platform. This way, you'll never miss an episode, and new ones will come straight to you every week. Second, share this episode with just one friend who could use a little inspiration to start their day. You can find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, but if you enjoy a visual experience, we're also on YouTube as well. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review. It's a simple way to help us grow and reach more people. For even more content, updates, behind-the-scenes fun, follow along on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. There you will find episode announcements, fun clips, and plenty to keep you inspired and entertained throughout the week. Thank you again for tuning in. We're excited to get into it today. My guest today holds a Master of Education in Higher Education Administration from Georgia Southern University and a Bachelor of Science in Communication from Kennesaw State University. As the Executive Director of Strategic Communication and Recruitment at Georgia Highlands College, she has driven enrollment growth through innovative student-focused initiatives. A passionate adventurer and for-fun runner, she is an active member of the Cartersville Run Club and founded the GHC Run Club in 2024. She enjoys hiking with friends in destinations like Peru, Argentina, Chile, and Canada, and loves spending time with her husband, Chris, and their dog. Please welcome my new friend, Meredith Head Bruno.
Well, Hooty-Hoo to you.
Hooty-Hoo. Look at that.
Yes. As a KSU owl, I feel like you should open up everything with Hooty-Hoo.
Hooty-Hoo.
Hooty-Hoo. And Hooty-Hoo to you drivers there.
Yeah. Hooty-Hoo to everybody in their cubicles. Hooty-Hoo if you're studying in the library right now.
Tea drinkers,
yeah.
Whatever, orange juice
yeah.
in the morning. Yeah, you've got a Hooty-Hoo.
I want to get off right.
Okay.
We did a lot of small talk before.
I'm buckling my seatbelt.
Buckle the seatbelt. Wow. You just, dude.
Come on.
Wow. Okay. I won't lie to you. I'm being completely transparent with you right now. When you walked in, I felt a little bit of like nervousness. Maybe it was because we'd never met before. Right. But like as soon as I hit go, it's almost like you're just ready to rock.
Ready.
You're a different person than you were 5 minutes ago.
Well, I had to put my stuff down and use the restroom. And,
yeah. Now you're comfortable. Small talk with the husband. We're all good now.
Sent him to go get the groceries so that we could get down to business.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
This is fun.
Absolutely.
Except for that I've been on this side. I'm usually the listener side.
Oh, yes. Yes. What do you listen to?
I am a white female, so true crime is like number one. And then anything I can learn from. So there's some like fun history ones, like how did this get made, but history
Sure.
made. Or one of my other favorites is about the presidents, and they talk through who they are, their personalities. And my favorite question is, if I went on a first date with that president, what would have happened? So like, would they have gone to a place where there would be equivalent to coffee or equivalent to a bar today, or would you go out to their farm, and how would they have treated you back
Wow.
and then copy paste to what it would be today?
I'm gonna need you to send me the link to that one.
Yeah.
I'm a history nerd, so it sounds like we're similar in that.
Oh,
Love history.
I mean, you are in a historical building.
I am.
History comes ghosts, and with ghosts comes stories, whether you believe them or not, just like fishing, you know, whether you believe how big it was or not.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that. And I am fascinated with like the whole presidency thing. Like I've always been just like enamored. Like my parents as a kid thought I would be a politician. I was very argumentative at one point, and they said like, they were like, he's going to be a politician, or in political science.
Lynched everything, right?
I was the oldest, and so I am the oldest. I challenged a lot and talked back a lot, and it wasn't that I just talked back a lot, but I was very passionate about what I was arguing.
Oh my.
So my parents were like, he's going to be in politics.
Usually that's not the firstborn. Usually the firstborn follows the rules and just does what they're supposed to.
Which is
second and third.
So funny that I did not do that. I did not follow the rules.
Yeah. I was an only child and had no cousins close to me. So all of my friends, we joke, are my parents' friends, are all senior citizens now. So.
Well, honestly, your parents' friends are sometimes more fun than friends your own age.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're just unhinged and ready to go.
And they're all retired now. So they go and travel all of these places, and they're busier than I am. So I feel like, you know, when I'm getting my pajamas on at night, they're still out to dinner.
Oh, for sure.
What am I doing with my life?
I know.
Wait to be retired.
I know. How long you got?
Let's see. Well, so working in higher ed in the USG system, University System of Georgia, once you're there for 10 years, you're vested if you choose that insurance or the retirement. And then after that, it's on, you know, you just matches it. So anyway, to answer your question, I've been in higher ed for 14 years.
Okay.
So I might look young, or I think it's because I'm shorter than everyone, but really.
I was trying to get, I was trying to gauge like how different in age we are.
Do you want to guess? You want to over under?
I graduated high school in 2014.
Oh, okay.
Did you graduate high school before the number 2 landed in there? Okay. I was just gauging. You graduated in like 2006?
Seven.
Really? Okay.
That was a good guess.
Okay.
2007, and then undergrad in 2011.
Okay, so you're just 7 years ahead of me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Just 7.
Just 7.
But the coolest thing, and I don't know who is listening or if you have children, but when I graduated, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Who knows what you really want to do?
I still don't know what I want to do.
To be a nurse or something.
Right.
Meredith had no idea. So I went and worked in Yellowstone National Park. So I walked across the stage on a Wednesday, and I flew out Thursday morning.
Really?
To go and work a season in Yellowstone. And I was like, put me anywhere. I don't really know anything. I can speak to people, so I'm fluent in English. Yeah. So, and
I'd say so.
I minored-ish in Spanish. I think I was really like one class away, but senioritis was real bad.
Sure.
Anyway, so I worked in Old Faithful Inn.
Okay.
The historical, built in 1911 in the cold. You know, they even had to build their nails. So book tours and create vacations for those who would come to Yellowstone. And it really taught me a lot because I had done study abroad. I went to Spain. My senior trip was on a mission trip to Thailand and traveled to Barbados, like different places. When you're out of where you live, like out of the South, well, let me make it even more, out of the Bible Belt, and then you are living for 3 months in a dorm built in 1920s with other people from around the country and world. Some of my neighbors were from Korea, some other ones were from Japan. Like it just, you know, they put us all together.
Wow.
But you learn.
What a culture shock.
Yeah. You learn a lot about yourself, a lot about other people, a lot about all other cultures, but yet we were all still Americans. So it was really neat to get to know. And one of my best friends, whom we are completely different, she grew up and was adopted. She has a twin brother, lives in Seattle, and we still are in contact. And we met because we worked the same shift at Yellowstone. So
wow,
it was neat.
Look at that. I've never been to Yellowstone. I'd love to go.
My heart hurt.
I know. I am a very vanilla dude. Besides this is the most exciting thing I do.
For those who can't see, that he's got a whole board of multicolored buttons.
Yeah, they all
feel
do different things.
Oh, like a kid when you could push all the buttons.
Yeah. I mean, whenever you buy one of these things, they come preloaded with sound effects. Like wah wah wah, or like
you've done that one after you said you were.
Yeah, I know, but see, this board itself is property of this facility, so they have changed things. I know what the buttons do. One of them is the music for your morning drive. Before I used to pre-record. Now I pre-record like some of my intro stuff with like some advertisements I run. So now the music is included in that. But I used to play the music on the spot and like fade it out, because like when you do this, like it fades the music out slowly. Okay. But there was an error I was having where the people's voice and the sound fading out, it wasn't like meshing correctly. So the voice was very quiet. So like the, hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Like that was all really, really quiet. And I was like, I'm just going to pre-record the music too, and just make it something I just drag and drop into the recording. Yeah. Nice. Work smarter, not harder. Right. But I think it's this one. Yeah, that's the one. That's nice. So if it keeps going, that's the Your Morning Drive intro is. But yeah, you can customize all kinds of things on here. I have one of these of myself at home, like when I used to record at home. So I do have one of these guys, and he's just collecting dust on my shelf right now, waiting to be used by another podcaster or something that wants to start a show of their own. There you go. Yeah.
Speaking of at home, so apparently we live in the same location.
Yes, we do. We live in Cartersville. We live like a block from each other. Yeah. From what we've discovered in our pre-interview talk.
It's the best place in the world.
You think so?
Okay. If I could, let me back that up. You don't have to delete this out. But I do think the base of the Tetons, going back to Yellowstone, base of the Tetons is probably a little more majestic than Cartersville, Georgia. Sure. But you could rival it with the community that's in Cartersville.
Are you ready to celebrate? We're recording this a month or so before it's going to come out. But the day that we're recording this, next weekend is the big Cartersville celebration.
175 years.
Are you going to go and participate?
All of my friends are already talking about it. They're probably going to park at my house while I walk down and just be a part.
I love downtown Cartersville.
Yes.
It's so great.
It's easy. Things aren't too expensive. It's just, you can navigate it. You can see things. Sometimes I feel like some small town squares get so you can't move, and Cartersville's different.
Agreed. So. Downtown Kennesaw gives me that feel. Yeah. They're trying to expand it, which I appreciate, because we used to live in the apartments right down there. Yes, which was nice. Not the ones that are like right there on Main Street, but the ones that are like back behind the police station by that chiropractic office up there on the hill. But we walked to downtown Kennesaw all the time. It was great, but it was very tight. Yeah. And parking, luckily we lived right there so we could walk, but parking is not easy in downtown Kennesaw. Mm-hmm. I mean, downtown Woodstock just put up a damn parking garage.
Oh, what in Cartersville now?
Parking garage? Yeah. Oh yeah, right next to Nagel's Bagels.
He's not our true Cartersville.
I've never parked in there.
One time just to see how it felt, and I didn't like it.
No.
Well, you can't circle it, and I understand it's about the flow tracks. You either go in from Main Street, turn right, and that's your floor, or you go around the block, and then you have two more. It's up to you, but it's very clean, feels very safe, very well lit, is safe, but sometimes parking decks get a bad rap.
Yeah, and parts of Cartersville also get a bad rap.
But we're not
going to talk about that. My housing development definitely isn't right behind a certain gas station that is sometimes a little questionable. Frequented by all sorts of folks, but
community.
But both housed and unhoused. I'm excited. We have our good friend, their birthday is that day also, so we'll have to cut out early, but I definitely told Catherine this morning, I was like, I'm going to go downtown like really early, because I also work with our mutual friend, Nagel's Bagels. I work with Kelly and Rich. I do their social media for them. Oh, there you go. So I was like, I'm going to get down there early and like take pictures of them if they have a booth set up. Like I was texting Kelly earlier, and I was like, what's y'all's plan? Because I plan on being there in the morning so I can work with you guys the first half of the day. But I'm excited to see it. I mean,
we can't wait.
It's exciting.
Yeah, I haven't been to, they haven't had anything that I can remember. I'm sure there was some when I was younger, because I'm born and raised in Cartersville and swore I would never go back. But, as you get older, you tend to eat words that you've ever seen. Sure. So both of my parents worked at Kennesaw State when I was growing up. And it goes back. I don't know how far back you want to go, but I swore I'd never go to Kennesaw, and I swore I'd never move home to Cartersville. So I obviously graduated with my undergrad from Kennesaw State. I was homecoming queen in 2010. First one crowned on, then it was a soccer field. Now it's a football field.
Sure.
And then went to Yellowstone, came back, ended up buying a house. Because why? Not because I got married, not because I had kids, because I got a dog. Obviously, millennial.
Yeah.
So I needed a yard. So I bought the yard. The house came with it. So anyway, Doc's still alive. She's 12, and
Wow.
we've had some surgeries.
Sure.
Our face is really powdered sugared now.
Sure.
But she's still bossy. So, and if there's a squirrel, she remembers that she's young. So
That's awesome.
and so this is how ridiculous. I even bought a new backpack for her to sit in that is better on her hips. So then we can go hike mountains because she can't do the rocks anymore.
Did she tell you personally that it's better on her hips? Did she like whisper it to you?
Mm-hmm. So I had another one when she was younger just for fun because she's a Jack-Rat Chihuahua.
Okay.
Wild night. Like however she was created, it was a wild night. So
Yeah. Wow.
and she can't get over all those big rocks, right? So anyway, so I had a backpack, and then as she got older, and then she had her leg surgery,
Mhm.
she would like hobble for a few days, and so we tried it out yesterday. That was great. So she was 23 pounds of fury on your back going up and down a mountain.
What Kelly told me when we met, she was like, I got somebody for you to talk to. She's really interesting. And I was like, okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
But I'm already seeing that you are very
It's a
interesting.
worker.
I think everybody's interesting. Like everybody, that's why I do this. Everyone's got their own story. Some people never get to tell it. And she said that you had deep, deep ties to KSU. Like the ties are deep.
Yes.
But before we go there, I want to get out in front of the fact that Kelly told me, and I need you to correct me. Another one of our sponsors today is Jessica Sorovchek Photography. Jessica Sorovchek Photography offers personalized portrait sessions that bring out the best in every moment. Whether you need family portraits, senior pictures, or photos for your engagement announcements, Jessica combines creativity and expertise to deliver breathtaking images you'll treasure forever. She provides tailored sessions to fit your needs, high-quality images with attention to detail, and fun, friendly, professional service. Capture life's most special moments with Jessica Sorovchek Photography. Book your session today.
I'm sure Georgia, UGA, I don't know if you've heard, UGA has things and Georgia Tech has things.
Sure.
Kennesaw
Go Dogs.
is the third largest university in the state of Georgia, 47,000 students. Are you kidding me?
A shit ton of kids.
So many. So what do you mean we don't have traditions? Now I have my own thoughts about that. We can get there. But so when I met friends and was kind of understanding who runs what, because who's an actual chart. So they used to say, well, sometimes we say like Hooty-Hoo and kind of embarrassed by it. And the story goes that, and because originally we were just basketball, right? The guest teams would make fun of us, and they would sit like when we would make a foul shot or do something not good, they would be like Hooty-Hoo owls and thumbs down. So the story goes that our students were like, all right, so we'll just throw it back. So then Hooty-Hoo became a thing. Just kind of saying it. It's not like the rolled tie, like the
Right.
eagle yet, but it was kind of a thing. So then I asked, well, UGA's got a hand sign. Texas has that hand sign.
Yeah.
What is ours? And so originally I was taught that if you take your middle finger and thumb and you put it together, because we're the great horned owls, it makes a horn. But as we know in culture, things get easier. So then I switched it to this when I started working in the communications for admissions, because it was easier for students to do. And then you can share it. So it makes a community. You share it with the person next to you. So like we could share out our eyes, and then it makes a whole line. So now it's an activity together. And then we needed like a who are we? So Kennesaw started junior college, right?
Yeah.
And here we go, going down the history.
That's okay. That's good.
Okay, so it started as a junior college, and then what saved higher ed in the 70s?
Drugs.
Close. Close, even close.
Hippies.
Women.
Okay.
We were there. We were there.
Close.
So before then,
Drugs.
rock and roll, yeah.
Yeah.
So before, men mostly went to college, and that was what the norm was. And then when Vietnam hit, your brother, your father, your uncle, whatever, they went to war. Well, then the women needed to hold up the household. So in the 70s, Georgia College released a photo of students sitting on the lawn. And if you go back to your college days and you go to to the older library section and you walk out towards the west parking deck, and it's got those old pillars.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's where the students were sitting, and they had beautiful girls out there, and then they had a diverse student population, and there was a few Black students, a few white students, male, female, and with all the war and all the torment happening, it looked like everyone could get along, and that's what started spiking. So then the location was phenomenal. Everyone's moving north, and they're who they are today. Now, do I say it's just because of that, article? No. If you want to go back even further, are you following me?
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So my father was the youngest of three, grew up from his bootstraps. His father had a 3rd grade education. My grandmother had a 4th or 5th grade education.
Sure. That was the norm. Yeah. Yes.
And my grandfather worked on big trucks, and he did not get drafted because he had flat feet during World War II. So they kept him here to actually work on the big trucks that were creating all of these tools and bringing things and pulling. Anyway, so my dad took a summer job to work on this road we know today as 5. And so the man over the pavement, I don't know what the man over the pavement, he's like the one in charge, like the landman. I don't know if you watched that yet, but you need to. Anyway, we'll circle back to that. So he took an interest in my dad because he was about a senior in high school, and he said, have you ever thought about college? Now, his older brother and sister, college wasn't a thing. He said, I'm just trying to make it. He said, come over here and look at this. And so he took my dad over this dirt hill that had been created, and he said, look what's down there. And they were just breaking ground to a junior college, which we now know as Kennesaw State University. That's far away. So Dad did not get drafted to go to Vietnam, but they were after him. He ended up going to Reinhardt, and then he went to Georgia Southern, and then he worked for a small women's college, which is now closed. It's called Tift. Then he went to Georgia Southern. Okay. Have you ever been to Statesboro or to Savannah?
I've been to Savannah, not to Statesboro.
Okay. But once you enter Bullitt County, you start seeing on the road these eagle signs. Did you notice those? Okay, there is, and this is what I've heard, some group that the university does not know who they are. They are a secret group at Georgia Southern who go and put them up every year. They don't know who it is. They don't know how it's been handed down. Anyway, that symbol, the eagle symbol, when my father was there, that was Georgia Southern College, and they were looking to rebrand. So he brought in some ideas, one based off of a trucking company in Cartersville, Georgia, because everything goes back to Cartersville, and they chose that symbol. So my dad had to get permission from that trucking company that Georgia Southern could use that eagle symbol. Trucking company is now out of business. It's still the eagle symbol today. So pretty neat. Okay.
Very neat.
I know. So that's Georgia Southern. So then my dad came and worked at Kennesaw State College and brought my mom with him. And then he ended up, when he came to Kennesaw, it was 5,000 students, college, not a junior college, but college 4-year. When he retired, it was Kennesaw State University with 25,000 students. So, and then my mom was the director of institutional research at Kennesaw. So it's kind of my life hearing the dinner table, it was all higher ed. And so the apple doesn't fall far because here I am too.
Yeah. Also doing higher ed.
So went to Kennesaw, had a great time, learned a lot.
Yep.
But anyway, the coin of Hooty-Hoo and the allies, I can't take full credit, but I can say because I then ended up working at Kennesaw in the communications department for enrollment services. All the emails now start with Hooty-Hoo Logan, Hooty-Hoo Meredith. Congratulations, you've done it. Love, Scrappy. Because I was able to have a hand in that. Now it's a tradition. And it's so much a tradition. I'm really proud of this. That, do you know about the football game, that the video game?
Yeah.
Mount?
Yeah. KSU is in it. Yeah. I actually just bought it a week ago. I haven't played it yet, but I just bought it. Yeah.
No.
And I know that KSU is in it. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you got to see it because the students do the allies.
Really?
Like, it is so part of it now that the fake students are doing it. Like, I made it.
Yeah.
I silently made it.
Wow. You should be getting paid for that.
On KSU. So anyway, now I just have to redo that, but at Georgia. So, yeah, it's just, it repeats itself. So my dad started at Kennesaw when it was a college at 5,000.
Yeah.
Retired at 25,000. I now started at Georgia Highlands. We have 5,000 students. It's a college. We do have 10 bachelor's degrees, and we're located on 75. So will history repeat itself?
That's a good question. I mean, and Georgia Highlands has 2 campuses. 5? Okay, so when I was in college, I think they only had 2. They had Marietta
Yes, you're right.
and the one down here.
Yeah.
How long have you had the other ones?
So the original one is in Floyd.
Okay.
And it actually has a lake. There's a running or walking trail, depending what you want to do around it. It's gorgeous. I mean, it looks like, again, back to Yellowstone, that you should be, I don't know, in the mountains somewhere. So we have, that was the original one. And then they opened one, and I don't know the order, except for the original one was 1970. Then when I was in high school, they had a satellite campus close to the bridge in Cartersville.
Uh-huh.
So growing up, you would go doing dual enrollment, and they would say, where are you doing dual enrollment? And everyone called it Floyd under the bridge or Floyd under the bridge. So then when the Cartersville campus was built, it's now Georgia Highlands by Walmart. So that's just people used to explain it. So then we have one in Dallas, which is, if you've ever been to Paulding, it looks like Hallmark.
Yeah.
And so we have 2 buildings on that square. Like when you come from Cartersville, I think it's 61, it just dumps you off of that red light.
Yeah.
That's our campus.
Huh.
And then the other one is in Marietta. So if you go to Delk Road, it's like the first red light on the left. So it's a different student population. Now, I said we have 5 campuses, which we do. And the other one is in downtown Rome. And that's where our dental and nursing program is housed.
Wow.
So it really helps that population because our dentistry office, actually, the local community can come and get a cleaning from our students. You don't have to have insurance. You can pay in cash however you need.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's very cool.
Yeah, definitely helping the community there. And one more shout out to Georgia Highlands and Lisa. She's the dean of our health and science, and she worked out a deal with Atrium Health, which is the hospital in Rome. So if you think of Kennesaw here in Marietta, it's the one in Rome, that our nursing students, once they are accepted to the nursing program, everything is paid for. I'm not talking tuition and books. I'm talking their scrubs, their stethoscopes, all the pointy things they have to have, all of the nitty gritty. I mean, we even had some students who couldn't financially get to clinicals, so they gave them a gas card. Like,
wow,
sure that they are covered to
right.
that degree. And whether you want to go for 2 years or 4 years.
Wow, that's really cool.
Pretty cool.
I don't know much about Georgia Highlands, if I'm honest, because I went to Chattahoochee Tech.
Get out of here.
Which is probably your biggest competitor?
Yes. Yeah. Now I'm mad at you. We were friends. We had the same, but now more. No.
You know what's so funny is when I moved to Georgia after I graduated high school, I applied at all of these places, and I don't think Georgia Highlands wanted me.
Don't say that. We want everyone.
I don't think
everyone can be a Charger. Yeah.
Is that what your mascot is? The Chargers?
Mm-hmm.
Like a horse?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
It's called Bolt. So when we did our first 5K, Bolt signed his name and with a lightning bolt.
Oh, that's
and
fire.
You got a degree in running.
It is fun. That's fun. So on a day-to-day basis, what are you doing for Georgia?
I like to say I'm in charge of monkey business.
Monkey business.
Do whatever needs to be done. So
I love monkey business.
It's every day. It is a circus. So it's a good circus. So I'm also for recruitment. So there's marketing and recruitment side. And that to me is the fun side. That's what I grew up doing. Recruitment. And I know in your last podcast, you talked about Bruton Parker, very familiar. And I worked for Bruton Parker's rival called Andrew College. So Bruton Parker is, if you're driving on 75 and you hit 16 South to go to Savannah, Bruton Parker, once you get off the exit, it's about 30-ish minutes. Andrew College, rival, completely other side of the state. Going towards Columbus, go past Columbus, and then you make a right, and then you feel like you're lost, and then it's another 10 minutes, and then there's a railroad track, and then that's Cuthbert, Georgia. So that's where I got my start, and it was a 2-year private housing school, and a lot of students went there for athletics, whether it was baseball, softball, basketball, cheer, whatever it was, and then they got their base there, and then they moved on. I was their first Atlanta regional. So I lived here in Cartersville and then recruited the whole, like if you drew a line under Carrollton, Henry County, and Athens, and that was my territory. So I really learned how to recruit and speak to students who I really got to be the bridge for. So it was really a big blessing.
Wow. All this higher ed talk.
I know, isn't it? Let me tell you one more story about higher ed. And
please do.
About fun stuff. So I ended up going to work for UAB, University of Alabama, Birmingham, as their first Georgia regional. Came back to KSU over tours, over visitation. We did the first open houses. We had 4,000 people at those, at each one. It was amazing. And then was snagged by the president of Georgia Highlands and said, we need you. So when the president calls. Anyway.
Sure.
But the story that I won't ever forget is I was a whippersnapper trying to recruit students to go to college. And it really sometimes it breaks cycles. Sometimes it's a chance to see something new. Sometimes they're just following whatever their parents said, told them to do. So I sat down with this mom and daughter, and I was trying to recruit the daughter to come to to come to Andrew. And it was the first time. So I was told meet in Starbucks because that's a safe space, right?
Sure.
This is when I'm talking about not everyone gets the chance to see out of their hometown or out of their circle. This is the first time they had been in a Starbucks. Okay, so all of a sudden, my normal tactics are gone.
Right.
Because things that I thought they could relate to, they can't. So then what can I relate to? Because it's not about them matching me. It's about me coming to them. So I spoke to this mom and daughter, and the mom said, Brittany, this is the first time you would have your own room. And she kind of smiled. And I said, well, hold on. Because I did in Atlanta, but I went down every 3-4 weeks, give or take. And I would be loading stuff, unloading, getting ready for our preview day. And she would say, just about, hey, Miss Brittany, how are you glad? That's good. Never look me in the face.
Yeah.
So then it was only 2-year school. So then the next thing I know, I get an email that Brittany won homecoming queen for Andrew.
Wow.
So like that's the difference that I see. Like I could be that bridge that she now did not repeat the cycle. She was the first woman in her family who was not 16 and pregnant.
Wow. Good for her.
That's that's what I look for, is to be the bridge of whatever student needs it. Whether it's one class, whether it's a degree, maybe they're trying to go to medical school, but that's it. If I can do that one thing, that's where it is. So anyway, that's why I think higher ed's important. I mean, I grew up in it. I married one. My husband is the executive director over housing at Kennesaw State. So it's just kind of in the blood at this point. So
yeah, you guys are just meant to do higher ed.
That's it. I don't know another world.
What do you call education that's not higher ed? Lower ed?
K through 12.
K-12?
Yeah. Yeah.
My wife's a K-12 teacher.
Bless her.
She teaches second graders in Kennesaw Elementary.
Oh, bless her. Good for her.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah. Oh, she tells me stories. I'm like, dude, I'm in the right profession, because I could not do it. My patience level is not there.
It's shot.
It's not there.
Bless her. But we need it.
Oh, for sure.
I'll send you another podcast I was just listening to called Told a Story. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's about how we are teaching or not our children how to read and who's making money off of it. So she might want to hear it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you're doing recruitment for Georgia Highlands, but you're also doing marketing for them.
Yes.
So what's that look like for because marketing is such a term that means so many different things. Like my definition of marketing might be different from your definition of marketing. Yeah. So like when you're not doing recruiting and you're like, all right, today's a marketing day. Right. What does that look like?
That's fair. Okay. So our marketing department has drastically shifted because of the new leadership at Georgia Highlands, which is a new opportunity. I'm trying to fill the shoes who came before me, and they're big shoes. But we're in a turning point, which is positive, of a new generation coming through. And maybe those shoes who were there before either don't understand this generation or aren't connected to it. So it was a good time for a switch to happen. I don't know if you've spoken to a 14-year-old recently. They use terms like skibbity.
Like skibbity in Ohio?
Yeah. And Sigma.
Yeah.
So, right. So how do I take someone who could be on the cusp of retiring and say, I need you to put Riz in a sentence and make it right? So we are doing a lot more of leaning on our students who see it and they want those ideas or those advertisements to come to them, and a lot of just research and being aware. And I think that was where Georgia Highlands needed a little push, is be aware of your surroundings. Is this cool? Is this not cool? Do we use this word? Because there's a lot of trigger words that we can't use anymore, or we can use, and it's a good thing. So every day is a different world. So we are revamping our social media, we're revamping our brand, we're revamping our style guide to fit what's coming next. So I would like to say, I send this many emails and color this in pretty and design this.
So do you do it all?
No.
Or do you have a team of people that do it with you?
I have a fantastic team, and we're small and mighty. So the person who's over our CRM, and a CRM is when you sign up for something at Walmart and they send you emails all the time.
You're in their CRM.
Right.
I love CRMs. I just started using a new one and I'm in love with it.
Oh, man. As long as you let it be your friend, then it will work.
Sometimes I get overwhelmed though, because I'm like, this thing can do so many things. No. And I don't I'm a company of one right now. Like, I don't even need all this stuff. Can I down that price a little bit because I just need something to send invoices to people and keep track of customers and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, I love it.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It makes me feel official.
Oh, yeah. And just you can document, you can open, you can see when they open the email.
Oh, so great.
Yeah. So for example, my graphic designer is actually over our CRM. Now, graphic design is a creative body. A CRM is usually a structured body. So that's strange that goes together anyway.
Right.
And then our person who's over video is also over photography, but is getting into the influencer world. That's something we haven't had yet. So he's working with students for the first time. And we have students, but like haven't had structure.
Sure.
So, and then I have a lot of students I trust tell me, is this cool or not? Because I don't want to put it out there if it's not cool.
Yeah.
I think when you lead a team, the number one thing you have to understand is they don't work for you, you work for them.
Right.
And if you're not hearing what's going on and using that, you're never going to better yourself and you're going to stunt your team. So my youngest one, who's right out of high school, is this cool or not? And she says no. I'm like, well, we're taking it back.
Right.
Because if I put something out that's offensive to this generation, where is that going to put us? So
right.
I try to be really careful, but then also meet the demands of whomever says we need to do whatever.
Right. However, you bridge that gap between, hey, we need to put this thing up. I'm like, oh, but we shouldn't because we can't. But so then they're like, okay, then figure out how.
Right.
To get the same thing out there, but with a different, however you can. That's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
How do you compete against like Chattahoochee Tech for a perfect example? How do you guys, well, let me just hear your pitch. How, if there's somebody out there that's like, I'm trying to pick between two junior colleges and I'm going to pick between Georgia Highlands and Chattahoochee Tech, why Georgia Highlands?
Oh, great question. So immediately I would say, what is your goal? Is your goal to get an associate's degree or is it to get a bachelor's degree? Usually they'll say, I want to go UGA, roof, right? So I'm like, well, okay. Isn't that what they say? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then immediately I would say, well, if you go to Chattahoochee Tech, your credits are going to transfer. So you have to start over. All of our credits at Georgia Highlands are based from the USG. So our English 1101 is equivalent to theirs. And also we're only $101 a credit hour.
Really?
So we're just over $300 a class. Mm-hmm. Plus, if you have HOPE, which covers 98% of your tuition, or Zell, then you come free.
Zell,
you have to have a 4.0, 3.9.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
I heard of Zell in terms of like paying somebody. Like I could Zell you $20.
No, Zell, I think he was pretty important.
Really?
It's named after a man. Ooh, don't tell me.
Oof.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a certain
So it's above HOPE.
test score. Yeah.
So HOPE is like, a lot of people have HOPE, but then there's another tier.
Mm-hmm. And they'll pay for all tuition.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I didn't even know that.
Pays for, depending on the year and depending on the president, 98% or whatever it is. So, yeah. So Zell's a little higher. Mm-hmm. So I was not that student.
No. I think I had HOPE.
Yeah.
I think
I did.
I think I had HOPE.
As long as you graduate with a 3.0.
Yeah. I think I did. Yeah.
Yeah. I had to repeat the second grade. So.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Couldn't read.
Didn't make it?
Yeah.
You couldn't read?
Forget that. And that was when dyslexia was like not a thing. So obviously I wasn't doing well in class, but I'm second grade. What are you, 7, 8 at that point? And so my mom, I'm so grateful and blessed that we had the resources to get me tested and her to kind of challenge the school board, or I guess the teachers of, nope, something's not sitting right. So when it came back that I have dyslexia, they didn't know what to do with me. They put me in the special needs class. Like I have this vivid memory that these two students couldn't feed themselves.
Yeah.
And I had to feed this student and then feed this student.
Like actually feed, like food?
I'm talking like the disability classes. That's where they put me. Like the special needs.
Wow. That just shows you how far we've come with like recognizing different disabilities as like, okay, so if you're dyslexic, that doesn't necessarily mean you might have special needs, but you might not have special needs.
Right.
It's such a weird spectrum.
Anything, I'm going to figure out a way to get it done. It just might not be the
right. Like arguably, I mean, I have undiagnosed, so no offense to those who actually have it diagnosed, very much so undiagnosed ADD, ADHD. So bad. I would argue that I have special needs.
Yeah.
For me to be the most productive that I can be, there are a certain set of things that need to be in place that help me be the most effective in whatever I'm doing.
And you're a control freak.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a control freak. Mm-hmm. Dude, you want to know something so funny? We got married a couple years ago also.
Congrats.
Thank you. And my wedding DJ, who is a family friend, grew up with my dad. So he knows our family well enough to like joke with us. Yeah. So during our reception, when he's like introducing, I'm your host this evening. I'm happy to be here, blah, 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 blah. He said, can I just say that Logan is the biggest bridezilla I have ever worked for. Yeah. He said, Catherine didn't give a shit about nothing, but Logan, he was always following up and email follow-ups and text follow-ups, asking me about this, he's like, I have never dealt with such a controlling groom in my life.
Did you say thank you?
And the whole crowd cheered and clapped and laughed because they all know. They know that I'm a little anal about some things.
Well, you got to get the job done.
Someone's got to.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I had a whole list, and I sent it to everybody. At this time, be aware of this. This surprise is happening here. We had a lot of surprises.
I also just feel like I also blame my parents, which I've learned as I got older is everything that's wrong with me, I blame my parents.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to. And one day my kids will blame me.
Yeah.
And I get that. So.
But that makes them who they are.
Right. So when I was a kid and like it was time for me to go get my first job, my dad was like, you're going to submit an online application like everybody else. But if you want that job, you need to go to the place, talk to the manager, share your name, let them see your face, because they're just going to go through a list of applications and they're going to think, okay, this person, what sets all these high schoolers apart to work at a grocery store? Nothing. But the fact that they saw you, you shook their hand, you introduced yourself. So he said, you need to do that. And if they're not there, say, okay, I'll come back tomorrow. And then just keep going back. So I feel like that at that point kind of introduced to me like the whole follow-up like mentality.
Do we have
of like
dad?
Maybe.
We might, yeah.
Is his name John?
It's Joe.
Man,
yeah.
But yeah, I just kind of feel like that at that point I was like, okay, so in order to hold people, and I also believe in holding people accountable. I'm very passionate about holding people accountable. He said, you got to hold them accountable. So, if they don't want you for X, Y, or Z, that's fine. Get that feedback from them so you can take it to the next job and make yourself better. And every job I ever wanted in high school, I got because I went to I wanted to work in a movie theater, and he was like, all right, go meet the manager of the movie theater. And I went back every day until I met him.
That's great advice. So
it was great advice, and I can't wait to give my kid the same advice.
And kick him out to go do it.
But my wedding DJ called me a bridezilla. And you know what's funny? Every time I moved out, when I moved out of my parents' house finally, and I moved into an apartment with one of my good friends, he said I gave him anxiety too, because the leasing office would be like, hey, we need your, this, we need your credit check, we need, with it. And I would give it to him. And then a day later, I would email him and be like, what's the status? What's the update? My roommate was like, dude, you give me so much anxiety.
Wait,
He's like, just give it a second. I'm like, yeah, but what if they forget? What if someone doesn't do their job? What if someone quits? What if someone... I'm a big what if guy.
Yeah.
I think about the worst case scenarios ever. What if I just throw my pen across the room?
That was impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah. So speaking of first jobs, my dad, I told you, pulled himself up from his bootstraps, but we have this small diner in Cartersville called Four Way.
Never been there.
Okay. I'll have to take you. You need to go with someone. So, and Cartersville was created around a railroad. If you come into Cartersville and you park, there is a historic painting of Coca-Cola on the side. Okay. Have you taken a selfie there yet?
I've not taken a selfie.
You need to post it.
Okay.
Because it's the first outdoor Coca-Cola sign in the world.
Really?
And there's a grammatical error. And they left it. They keep it there.
What?
You're welcome. So anyway, down from that is what we call today four-way lunch. And it is sloppy hamburgers. You have to eat them with a fork. It's chili cheese fries. It's gravy fries.
Okay.
The rough of the rough come in. Like, do not go, like today you got your Kennesaw shirt on, but you got a nice looking hat. Like, you need a hat that's sweaty. Like, I can't go in this attire or else you'll stand out. Like, it's men coming from whatever hard job, get a quick burger and move out. Anyway, so my father worked there and my grandfather worked there.
At the four-way stop?
The four-way.
Is that what it's called, four-way stop?
Oh, yeah, it's the four-way lunch.
The four-way lunch, okay.
And it actually has a slope that is
really
happening. So I think it's got 10 stools in the front that you have to wait your turn. And that's where I learned to wait in line, understand your turn, that and Ross's. But anyway, they're kind of competitors. But so my dad wanted me to experience what it's like to work hard and what happens if you don't get a degree, right? Higher ed family.
Sure. Yeah.
So I had to go sign up, get all this paperwork because he wanted me to start at like 14, 15, but I think working age is 16 or whatever it was. So maybe I was 13, 14. Anyway, I had to get all this paperwork done for me to work there on weekends. So he dropped me off and I'm starting washing dishes, whatever they want me to do.
Yeah. Just whatever.
And I mean, there's not a real kitchen. There's not like a back you can hide in. So everything is being watched. Everything is done by hand. There's not like a dishwasher. Like that is me.
Right.
So they let me start in the front. Okay. So this is where I learned, well, the nicer you are to the older gentlemen that come in, the higher your tips are going to be. So one Saturday I worked for 4 hours as a 14-year-old and I come home with $65 in cash and whatever they paid. And then the next weekend it was $100 because I was getting better at it. So my dad's like, and we're done. You figured out this, you're not going there. But I did learn, like, I mean, I was sweating in the back, understanding.
It's hard work.
It is hard work, but it was very rewarding.
Sure.
So then when I got into high school, if you drive up Main Street and get almost to the crest of the hill, there's Agan's Bakery on the right.
Mm-hmm.
And those were family friends. Like my dad went to high school with Jim, who was the second owner. And then I actually really liked Abby, who's now the third generation owner, and she's a few years older than me. And so all of those cookie and pie recipes came from their grandmother. So that's where I worked all through high school, a little bit into college, and then on holidays when they needed hands just to make, boxes and things. But that's where I learned the power of the Southern accent, because you could hear, when people aren't from the area. And if I needed to sell this pie, well, this is just a pecan pie. And if you put a little bit of ice cream on it, it's going to taste so good. Sold every time. So anyway, you just learn your tricks of the trade.
I can't do that. I can't do the Southern.
Yeah.
I mean, I can try, but I just can't get it right every time.
Yeah.
I sound like that dude from the Righteous Gemstones. Have you ever seen that show? Oh, it's this, forget the actor's name, but you see his face and you're like, oh, him.
Yeah.
But he's just got this Southern twang in him. Yeah. It's just very like Louisiana sounding.
Oh man, that dialect, then that's something.
Like Theo Vaughn.
Yeah. I mean, y'all okay with that snow over there?
For real. Man, I just don't know what to do with myself.
I know.
I could do it, but I would say one word wrong and someone would be like, you're faking that accent.
Yeah.
Like you're faking it. There's no way.
Yeah. Well, you just grew up with it. And even the dialects around Georgia are different. Those who are in Rome area sound completely different from the
for sure.
Savannah, Statesboro area.
Absolutely. But I did try the accent thing for a long time because me and my buddies in college actually went through this phase where we realized, or we just came to this conclusion. I don't know how, but it was when we were all single and they were like, girls love foreigners. Girls love foreign accents.
Right. Okay.
Or girls are just fascinated by somebody who's not from Georgia.
Right.
So we're like, so we would I would be Australian. Girls love an Australian. Even if you're not attractive, girls are still like, oh my God, it's Australian. Right. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like, well, talk to him at least. Yeah. And we were just trying to get talked to at that time. Please, anything. And I would, for real. And I would just be like, I can't even do the routine. I had like a rehearsed thing that I'd be like, good evening, man. Good evening. And eventually though, I would say like, or like I'd get like a tweet, something would happen and I'd be like, excuse me. And they'd be like,
wait a minute.
And I'd be like,
dang,
you got me. And they're like, damn. Some of them were like, damn, I can't believe you held on to it that long. And then some people were like, you pig. And I'm like, you're right.
Where was your spot? Like outside the Commons? Like where were you going?
Oh God, it was like at bars around KSU. So it'd be like or the Battery, like when that opened. Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
That was great. We would go to the Battery or like Owl's Pub.
Yeah.
Or some old Kennesaw bar.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Dirty with sticky carpet.
Yeah.
I think I did the worm on those the most.
The worm?
Yeah.
Like
you could do it.
You can do the worm. Bullshit.
I swear.
You can do the worm.
The contest to get some Kappas because I could do the worm.
You can do the worm.
The most proud moment. Forget the awards I've won. Forget the homecoming queen. My most proud moment was at the gazebo at Kennesaw, on Kennesaw campus. And I did the worm. And there's fraternities and sororities. And one of the fraternities are the Kappas. So I did the worm up to him and I bounced up and I grabbed his Kappa tie and then rolled up to it. And then all the Kappas sat down. Like that, I am very white.
You were the shit.
And I won that night. Like, put it in the history books.
You can do to this day.
Well, I need to stretch my back out. But if somebody challenges me and Ice Ice Baby comes on, it might happen.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That is so fun.
I just felt like if the guys could do it, why can't I do it? That was in middle
That's
school.
badass.
Anyway, it was fun. But in my college was a little different. So like there were a lot of pubs and bars that people went to, and I was in a sorority as well. But my roommate was from Barranquilla, Colombia. And so her life was different. We would go, the sorority was like, you can't go to these places and da-da-da. I'm like, well, if you can find me, you can pull me out. And so we were at all of these salsa clubs, doing the merengue, bachata. That's what I learned. And that's how I stayed in shape in college. But
by dancing?
yeah, it was so fun.
Damn.
Learning a different culture.
That's fire.
I was trying to minor in Spanish, so I got to use it, but it was fun. It was fun for the time. So anyway.
Wow. That's fun.
Those shoes up. So
wow.
now I'm just an old person who goes to bed at 9.
I went to bed Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Friday night, I went to bed at 8:15. It was great.
Yeah.
I will say, I will give a caveat. I got in bed at 8:15. Didn't fall asleep probably till 9:30. But
Scrolling.
it was one of those nights that we were like, what do we want to do?
Yeah.
And we're like, watch TV, I guess. And they're like, I was like, what if we just watch TV upstairs instead? And she was like, that's dangerous. It is.
I love it.
But we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And we did it. It was great.
Yeah. Man.
But last night, I didn't go to bed till 1 o'clock.
Oh.
Because we went out for my cousin's birthday.
Oh, in Cartersville? Somewhere else?
We went to Glover Park Brewery in Marietta, started there. Then we went to the fine establishment of McCracken's.
Oh, come on.
Of course.
That's it.
And then after that, we went to Old Town in Kennesaw.
Oh, you were making your way back up. Yeah.
Making our way back up. And after that, we decided we're done.
Yeah.
We're done at Old Town. They continued and they went to Owl's Pub, but I was like, no, I'm done. And this morning I was reminded that I'm not in college anymore.
I'm sure. It's that sugar. You got to stay away from it when you mix it.
It's my cousin's family are the type that they're not big chain restaurant people. They always like to go to the local places. And Old Town's a local spot in Kennesaw. So they would frequent there and they'd go there often enough that the bartenders all know them and like them. And so like my cousin, it's her birthday and we're just getting free shots. And I don't know what the shot was, but it was damn good. It was like a lemon drop, but not as lemony. It was so good. It was so great. There's probably so much liquor in it. Couldn't even tell.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, this is fantastic.
That's what gets you.
But this morning I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is the kind of morning that I want to text all my guests and be like, not today, pushing back.
Yeah, sorry.
But then I took a shower and I was like, I'm an adult. I can do this.
You can do this.
But I was like, yeah, I'm not 22 anymore.
Yeah. You have to drink the liquid IV before you go to bed.
And that's where I failed. Usually I down a couple ibuprofen before going to bed. Last night I was just so tired that I took the clothes off, got into bed, and that was it. I mean, I was asleep in probably 5 minutes. We both were. But we both, when we woke up this morning, said we forgot to take ibuprofen. We usually try to drink a water or like a Powerade or a Gatorade or something before bed after drinking. But last night, we just went straight to bed.
Just making it to the bed.
Yeah, just made it to bed.
Many nights.
Yeah.
So, well, that's a fun time.
You have children?
So bonus. I have 2 bonus boys.
You have bonus boys.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
So I married in and he had 2 sons.
Okay.
And so it is step. That's what a lot of people say step. So we just say bonus. It makes it.
I like bonus. That's better.
And so 15 actually turned 16 in 2 weeks. The insurance for the car for a male starts at $500 a month. Anyway, so we'll get there. And then
what's it for a girl?
Less because it's a female. But I have 2 boys, so I don't look female up. So and then the other one's 13. So
love that. Bonus boys. That's better. I like that. Mm-hmm. Bonus boys.
So, and for what it is, it's great. I love their mom. She's a fantastic mom.
Co-parenting situations.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And people are like, either you're really lucky or this is really weird. But when they were playing baseball, she and I would sit together and share a blanket.
Nice.
The boys, it's not about us, and they co-parent well.
Good for them.
Any situation, it's great. And I need to find, it would take me a second, but how we met. So
your husband?
No, their mom, right?
How you and
yeah. So this is the story you need to hear. So Chris and I met at work actually, and it was at a preview day, and he was not in a spot, so I yelled at him, and he fell in love. That's just how that works. anyway, moving forward. So Chris and I had been dating for about 3 years at this point. And their mom, his ex-wife, came up for Halloween because our neighborhood is very walkable. Lots of kids their age. When they're here, they can just run the neighborhood and everyone's got eyes everywhere and very safe. So we invited her up for Halloween, come and trick or treat. We've got so many roads. It's easy. So she came up for Halloween and I knew she was coming at 6:30 and my parents wanted the kids to come to their house. And so we loaded up all the neighborhood kids and go to my parents' house because they don't get as many kids in their neighborhood. We came back, we're playing hide and go seek and tag. And then this is what you can put on your Instagram. I'll send you the picture. So she was early and it was as if the birds stopped chirping and everything was silent in a movie because I had on a blow up fat suit of a woman in a bikini and I was having to waddle around with a bright orange wig on. And that is how I met their mom, was in this blow up suit waddling around. And she was 30 minutes early because I knew I had an alarm set. I'm going to go in 15 minutes before she gets here and just put on a sweatshirt. So it won't be weird. But I made sure it was weird by accident. So now actually I waddled up to her and said, hey, Cheryl. And she said, Meredith, you don't look like your Instagram filter. And I said, well, it's just a filter. And actually it's been great ever since. So, if you ever got a nervous situation and you need to meet the other person, put on a fat blow-up suit with a little tutu and it goes.
That's really cool to hear that you have a good relationship because I feel like you don't hear that much.
Yeah.
That especially when there's children involved, like you would want there to be a good co-parent situation, but there's usually not.
Yeah.
So to hear that you are in a healthy family unit, and that's good for the boys too, to know that like stepmom's great, regular mom's great, dad's great, everyone's just a cool, happy unit, comfortable enough with each other that you're inviting each other for like holidays and stuff. That's really cool to hear. It's really cool to hear.
I'm very grateful. Chris and Cheryl do a very good job of co-parenting. And so, when they need to talk about things, I'm out of it unless they need me and then I can help or not. And that's fine too.
That's awesome.
So I give them that space. And then she and I actually have our own Snapchat and text messages. And usually we put up on Chris together. So that works out.
That's awesome.
But even my parents are now their grandparents. They actually live closer than their biological grandparents. So my parents are able to go to the games and the plays and all of that. So it kind of works out.
And it's cool too. Like, I want to say this, but it not be like insulting, but it's a compliment to you. But it's cool for you. Like you just said, like when him and her need to have conversations about their kids, it's cool that you know to kind of quote unquote stay in your own lane. And it's really like, I feel like a lot of people, it would be an adjustment to be like, okay, they're not my kids. They are my kids, but they're not my kids. So it's really cool that you have that acknowledgement going in of like, there's going to be conversations that are tough conversations that I'm not going to be able to be a part of. And that's all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's really cool that, to have that sense of awareness. Cause I feel like a lot of people would just be like, no, they live under my house. They're my kids now too. It's not necessarily the case.
No.
So that's really cool that you have that awareness.
Yeah. Well, thank you. It's a good mix. It's a good balance. I think that I joke that she is the indoor creative cat, and she actually has cats, one that she adopted from my parents. So let me lay that out for you. So
you guys,
my boyfriend's ex-wife is coming to her ex-husband's girlfriend's parents' house to pick up a cat that they rescued to take home to her house.
So from the get-go, you start dating this guy. He's like, I'm divorced, but me and my ex-wife are super cool. And
say it like, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But like, so from the get-go, you married in knowing like, this is a very healthy situation. Right. Healthy to the point where she's coming to your parents' house. That's so odd to me. Like, I can't like, it sounds like a rom-com, like waiting to happen.
Yeah, no, we're not like, she is fantastic, period. But we're not doing like, we're not coming over for each other's Christmas.
Sure.
But we see each other on Christmas Day.
Right. Yeah.
And it's great. And we send birthday and Christmas and
right. But it's not like a simple, like, all right, kids, get out of our car and get in her car. It's not like one of those. It's
how's your class? How are things going?
Right.
There is communication, and I think that is for the best. And I'm very lucky. So
very lucky. That's really cool.
So she's an indoor creative cat. Like, she is a beautiful artist. She majored in costume design from Clemson. Go Tigers. I've married into that. I understand how that works. No, I am not. I am an outdoor structured dog. We are going on hikes. We are finding the historical locations. We are experiencing something that is outside. So unfortunately, or fortunately, the boys get the most of it.
Yeah, sure.
Of both worlds. So we actually got a waterfall book for Christmas. So the goal is to do them all in a year.
Really?
So,
are they all in Georgia?
Yeah, they're all in Georgia.
Fun.
Yeah, Dr. Waterfall. He's like 24. He's put them all together. It's fantastic.
Dr. Waterfall?
It's his Instagram handle. So anyway, so that's like our goal this year. They don't know that. But we've already gone to see one. So there you go.
Look at that. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you'll have to.
They want to or not.
You'll have to tell them within a month now.
That's what we said.
Because I assume maybe she'll listen. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
Or, yeah.
So anyway, it's fun. It's fun. It's fun to watch them grow. And when they were younger, they said something really funny that we only go on vacations where colleges are. Well, Chris and I both being in higher, we just want to see what other schools are like. But little did they know, we're always getting on a college campus so you could see what's around you.
Sure.
So I think it's beginning to pay off. The oldest one is talking about college now. What does it take to get in this school versus this school? What kind of grades do I need to have? So it's a little bit at a time.
Yeah. Very cool. Very fun.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
I don't know. Just wild. So for Christmases, we don't do gifts anymore. He and I, for the boys, we do vacations or experiences.
I think we need to start doing that in my household, especially.
It's fun. So, and they never know where we're going.
That's awesome.
The first year we did, and this is the parent move, and I'll cap it here about parenting. The youngest one was in a geology class about Georgia and learned about all of the different levels we have in Georgia. There's the Piedmont side, and there's the Blue Ridge side, and then there's the fault line, and so on and so forth. And so he learned about Providence Canyon, which is Southwest Georgia. It's the Little Grand Canyon. It was actually caused by erosion of farmers. Anyway, you need to see it before it disappears. It will disappear probably in the next 50 years, but it is close to where Jimmy Carter grew up in Plains, Georgia. So we stayed in a haunted, allegedly, hotel in Americus, Georgia. They even have squares of tile that are from ivory, which is not legal anymore, in their dining room. Anyway, so we stayed there. We hiked in Providence Canyon. We saw where Jimmy Carter grew up, did the boyhood home is what you call it, did the museum that was the school he went to, did the whole thing, ate the peanut butter ice cream. You have to do it. The next year, Rosalind died. So then what just happened? Jimmy Carter finally passed at 100. Amazing. So we had them. So we took them on MARTA. We got on the bus. We went to the Carter Center and got to see his casket along with the military around.
Wow. That's crazy.
They don't even blink. With the practice they have. So anyway, it was a full parenting moment of so then when we went to the Carter Center, you see the museum of where he grew up, and we sat in something similar at his high school, so like a win. And they said, standing there with the programs that you got, this was really cool. And I'm like, all I have to do is get y'all in school and I'm retired.
Yeah, right.
So but then you know and have pride of that we had a president, and soon hopefully we'll have another one from Georgia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see that.
But Cartersville is not named after President Carter. It was named after Farish Carter's, just in case you want to know.
I was kind of curious and kind of hoping it was Jimmy Carter, but I feel like Cartersville would milk that more if it were Jimmy Carter. Yeah. I feel like there'd be pictures of him everywhere, maybe a mural downtown.
I know.
So now it makes sense that it's not based on Jimmy Carter.
Yeah,
but
it is.
Yeah, crazy. 100, 101, old ass man.
Ooh.
Same thing with my wife's grandma. Like, it feels like the last 10 years, Jimmy Carter has had every reason to die.
Yeah, but maybe he'll hold being the oldest one.
Maybe.
Until we have another president from Georgia.
Maybe.
There's pride in that.
Yeah. It's cool to have a president from your state.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, if you have not been to Plains, Georgia.
I've not been.
It is very economical to go down there. It's a 3-hour drive from here, but go and do it.
I'd love to.
And you'll get to see the depot that they made their campaign grounds. And it's a lot. So you should do it.
I love stuff like that. So I would have to. Love history.
Yeah.
Fun. Look at that.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Cartersville history, or are we wrapping up?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just had a thought.
Okay. Yeah, I see you going off. So
I had a thought, and the thought is that your husband will not be able to get back in here.
That's okay.
He
can text me then.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But I just didn't want him like get done with his errands and then be like, I need to get in there.
Okay.
But he can't get in here
Okay.
because it's locked from the inside.
Okay, that's a good point.
So
Let me know when you're in the parking lot. You guys want me to tell him?
I don't know. I don't know what the point of me telling you that was.
Okay. Let me see.
I just didn't want him to have to stand outside awkwardly waiting. Although I feel like he would just go back to the car.
Yeah, he does have the car. So
Okay, well that's good.
because we made it a day date. So we
Yeah.
went to the local. It was very good.
The local.
You haven't been to the local at the square? They're fried chicken. You're welcome.
I have been to the local. Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. What's your favorite downtown Cartersville spot? There's a few really good ones.
So it depends what you're looking for. I like the vibe in 8-track.
Love
which is a
8-track.
Play on words. Mhm.
Yes, love 8-track.
But if you're trying to impress, it depends on how old they are, right? If they're our parents' age and you want to impress them, take them to Appalachian Grill.
Right.
If you want to impress someone our age, take them to Table 20.
Had Table 20. The other was very impressed.
Yeah.
I liked it. Although I was not sure about the weird popcorn thing. Was not sure about that.
I think that's the point.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone is always not sure, but you always end up eating it.
Yeah, I had a few pieces of it, and I was like, I don't know if I like this, but I also don't think I hate it either.
Yeah.
It was weird,
Mhm.
but different.
Yeah.
I mean, when do you go to a restaurant and they put down a little bucket of popcorn?
Yeah,
Never.
never.
With like butter on it or whatever it's
Whatever it is. Yeah, it's good.
I had their burger there, and it was outstanding.
Yeah, good. That used to be a Quiznos long time ago.
Really? That was a quiz.
Now when you go and look at it, you'll see the bar of the Quizno, like that where they used to make your sandwich.
Oh, that's
It
fun.
look really cool. And then they just opened Elevate, so that
Have you been there yet?
I've been there once.
Okay.
Been there.
I've not been yet.
You do not feel like you're in Cartersville. It is Elevate is the term. Like it is.
Really? It
Well,
feels fancy.
Mhm. But
So would you go in there wearing joggers?
no. We went like after a Christmas party with
Okay.
like fancy.
So it's
dress.
nice.
Yeah, like skinny jeans is like the most dressed down person I saw, but had
Okay.
heels on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So definitely don't go in wearing joggers like
No.
this, like tennis shoes.
And then like rub off your penny because it is expensive.
Really?
Yeah, we're talking like $15 a drink.
Okay.
So
What is it? Is it just a bar?
it is a bar, but they just started coffee, so I'm not really sure how that's going.
And I've seen some of their social media that advertises like co-working also. And I'm like, how's that work? Do they have like offices and stuff in there?
See any? They did keep a lot of the historical, like that used to be a general store with the ladder that would slide, so that's still there. And they updated or refinished the boxes that all of the hardware tools used to be in. So it looks really nice.
Huh. Yeah, we want to try it, but we just never.
Yeah.
Just never have. Maybe a good potential
Mhm.
double date situation.
We could do it
We could do it.
right downtown. I love
That'd be
it.
fun. How
Yeah.
far do you guys live from downtown then?
So
Like 5 minutes?
yeah, if you drive it, if you walk it, it's maybe 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Easy. It was fun when I was younger.
I love Jefferson's. I love Jefferson's. You don't like Jefferson's?
You don't have to yell it like. Yeah. No.
Why?
It opened. It was fantastic. It's still a small chain. I mean, there's another one in Rome, just like Elevate.
Right.
They opened two the same day.
There's actually a lot more than I thought, though, because there's some in Tennessee too.
Mhm. Yeah. It just got to around COVID. They struggled with like, we're doing people inside or we're picking up. And then they're like, well, you can't pick up. And then when you could pick up, it was like cold or.
Yeah, I get it.
Anyway, there's other places. So.
Sure. Have you had Mule House?
Oh, yeah.
You like them? What's your opinion there?
It was good. And then there's a new place that just opened off of, I think it's Burnt Hickory, and it's another wood fire
Really?
pizza place, like just opened in the last month.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I've not heard of this.
Yeah. It's an Italian name because they use the Italian. It's not just wood fire. It's like the Italian recipes. Yeah. You got to know your town.
I know. I'm going to have to write this down because on Sunday evenings, we've been trying to do this new thing where we go out to, that's like our date night is Sunday evenings, like right
Yeah.
before the week starts.
Yeah.
Just kind of like,
It's a hard night in the South, friend.
yeah, right. So maybe we'll add that to the list.
Yeah.
Goodness, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Huh. Good to
I
know.
think they are open on Sundays. Mhm.
Huh.
So I can send that one to you too.
Very fun.
Yeah.
I love Mellow Mushroom. I was there yesterday.
How could you not?
So fantastic. I do love 8-track. I'm starting to really like Table 20.
Mm-hmm.
Our friends at Nagel's Bagels.
Of course.
Love Kelly and Rich.
Yep.
They do live music there Thursday nights. If you did not know that,
So
you should go.
have you been to Nina's, the local Italian?
I've not been there.
Okay. Yep. You should go there off of Henderson Drive. And actually, your next guest, I don't even know if I have a way to contact her, but I bet Kelly does, is the woman who opened Goodies and Grace. She was actually on the Food Network. Or did you already have her on?
Oh, I've had her on. Oh, yeah. Johanna.
Yes. Yes. She's a doll.
Isn't she?
Yeah.
So cool. We did our episode. If you go and find it, we did it at her space. And so it's pink in the background everywhere. It is so cool. Yeah, she was awesome. Yeah, I didn't get it. Had something happening that night that they were doing the big Food Network showing. We wanted to go though, but yeah, she's fantastic. They just got married.
Yeah. So she's closed for a few weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
She deserves
Good for her. She works hard.
Yeah. She's
Super great.
and always a smile.
Yeah.
Always.
So killer.
Mhm.
So inspirational, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah. Cartersville. Everybody needs to come if you haven't been. Museum City. You know, we have.
I just went to Tellus for the first time a couple weeks ago. Loved it. History nerd. Loved it.
Come on now. So then, have you been to Bartow History Museum?
I've not been to that one.
You're hurting my heart. And then behind that one is the booth.
I've not been to Booth either. I've been to Savoy because
Okay.
Savoy is diagonal from my neighborhood. So I've been there a couple times with my father-in-law, showing him and my dad.
Mhm.
And, then went to Tellus a few weeks ago. Loved every second of it. Thought it was fantastic. So I can't wait to hit the other two. I love museums.
One thing that I'll tell you about the booths, and people are like, Western art, where's your little button? Anyway, they have a room. It's called the President's Room.
Okay.
And it is very apparent when you walk up to it, not even in it, everyone just becomes silent and it gets really quiet
I like respect.
out of respect, and how the lights are dimmed, and it's the decor is phenomenal. But they have a signed document from every president in there.
Really?
I mean, it is strong. Yeah. So you can see handwritten documents from until we had typewriters from every president. And then they have cool facts. Like one of them was pulled over for going too fast in a horse and buggy. You know, so it's like, that's hilarious. So just different things
But every president
every president.
has a document that is signed in there by them.
Yeah. So just impressive. Truly.
Very cool. Now I want to go there like
Mhm.
bad. I love the president stuff.
Oh yeah. And then I think it's the first Thursday of every month. It's free. It's free night there. So maybe y'all move your Sundays to a Thursday.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's really neat. But we had Cartersville's known for a lot. So the first female senator in the United States is from Cartersville.
Really?
Mhm.
Did not know that.
Have you either listened to, watched, or read Gone with the Wind?
I have watched and I've watched it.
Okay. Very good. So the portion where Scarlett rips down the drapes and makes herself the dress.
Yeah.
So Margaret Mitchell didn't just make that up. Our female senator did that.
Really?
She had to go and stand in for her husband. And so she needed something new to wear during that time. And so it's black, and her husband was dying. And so she had to pretend like he wasn't and go and stand in his place. And so her name was Rebecca Felton. So you might have seen Felton Road or Felton Manor.
My neighborhood is called Felton Walk.
That's who it's named after, Rebecca.
Wow, that's
Mhm.
badass.
So, but her dress that she did that in is in Roselawn, which is another museum in Cartersville.
That's so cool.
Mhm. So Roselawn, that was built for Sam Jones, which there's a Sam Jones Church, Methodist Church.
Yeah.
And he was the Billy Graham of his time.
Okay.
Do you know Billy Graham?
I do.
Okay, big evangelistic preacher.
Sure.
And so he actually, everything's about to come back to Cartersville. You ready?
Yep, hit me.
So Sam Jones, big evangelistic preacher of the time, traveled all around the country. Nashville wanted him to move there, but he lived in Cartersville. And Roselawn is a beautiful antebellum home. It's 2 stories. Well, his wife kept having to feed and house all of these people that would come. And in that area, she needed to house all these people. So she needed another floor. So what do you do in the 1900s?
Build another one.
How do you build it? You lift up the original and build underneath.
Uh-huh.
So actually the first floor is upstairs.
Oh.
So anyway, that's where Rebecca's dress is. So anyway, moving forward. So Nashville wanted him, and he tried to make a demand that was impossible to reach because he didn't want to leave his hometown and family. And he said, if you build me a tabernacle, I will come. So you might have heard or been to a concert or something called the Ryman.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was built for him.
Okay.
And the Ryman was actually the original Opry.
Yeah.
So the circle that they stand in the Opry now to sing in the Grand Ole Opry now
Right.
came from the stage of the Ryman, built for Sam Jones, who's from Cartersville.
Wow, look at that. Combining 2 worlds, because my wife is from Nashville.
Okay.
And lots of connection to country music there because her dad, actually, my father-in-law, was a sound engineer in the booth for when artists were recording music. So he's worked with everybody. I mean, like Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Alan Jackson.
Come on.
All of them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we talk about the Opry, and I've still never been. I'd love to go to the Opry and see a show, and the Ryman and see a show.
Yeah. There's a picture of Sam Jones in the Ryman still.
Okay.
So
now look at that. Look at those fun little tidbits.
Tell you about the famous baseball player Rudy York or the astronaut that came from Cartersville. We'll just leave that there. But anyway, that's just a little tidbit that you can take. I mean, I'm not going to say that Coke wasn't originally thought about being bottled in Bartow and Cartersville, but there is a reason that their sign is there, the Coca-Cola sign.
Oh,
so
love that.
It's just the little things.
I love all this. This is history is a love language of mine. I love it.
Yeah, well, it's who we are today. So you just at least need to be aware.
I agree. I like it. My friend, there comes a point in every conversation I have where I ask my guests a collection of questions.
This is what I was trying to find. Okay, all right. I'm not ready.
You're not ready.
Well, like I didn't find them. I thought there would be something interesting coming.
I got you.
Okay.
Hey guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about the company that makes your morning drive happen every week. Are you looking to elevate your business and your brand? Hammerhead Creations is here to help. They offer top-tier marketing services, including social media management, website design, and Google page optimization, ensuring your business reaches the right audience. Whether it's a side hustle or your full-time grind, their expert team, me, is ready to help you grow. Plus, if you're into podcasting like me, Hammerhead Creations offers full support for both in-house shows and external podcast creation. From concept to production, we will help you bring your ideas to life. Visit www.hammerheadcreations.com and discover how we can take your business or your podcast or both to the next level. Hammerhead Creations, swim with the big sharks.
Ready?
You ready for him?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. Favorite movie?
Oh, I want to say immediately. I used to always say fried green tomatoes.
It's my wife's favorite movie.
Let's see. She and I might be best friends.
You guys might be best friends.
Yeah.
You're both in education. Higher education, though.
Yeah.
You're a little better.
No, you got second grade's important. You got to get through that.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. If there's no second grade, there's no higher ed.
Yeah, correct.
There's no ed to be higher.
We stop.
That's right. Yeah, she loves. I've still never seen it.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
That was filmed here in Georgia.
I know. See, I don't even know that.
Yeah. Well, actually, it was filmed in Alabama. It was placed here in Georgia. Anyway, that's a whole nother deal. But
you know a lot of you'd be fun at trivia. I bet you're a trivia whiz.
Only if it's Bartow County history, and that's pretty much it.
We need to get Drowned Valley to host Bartow trivia history or something, because you'd kill it.
I'm bringing my dad.
Really?
My dad. Oh, yeah.
Would he crush it?
Come on. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He created my made sure it's still alive because of him.
I love it. I mean,
because we even go back to the Native Americans and to the gunpowder was mined for the Civil War from Bartow.
Whoa. That's crazy.
There's a secret cave that they used during the Prohibition. They used to go and dance in. Yeah, it's pretty neat.
That's awesome.
Anyway.
What was your first job ever?
Other than the four-way, would have been Egan's Bakery.
Okay. Cool.
Definitely learned. It was fun.
If you found out tomorrow was your last day on Earth, what would your final meal be?
Final meal? Chicken Parmesan.
Really?
Yeah.
Classy lady.
Oh, it's good.
We love it.
Extra sauce.
Oh, yeah.
And some red pepper flakes.
Get lost in the sauce.
Come on. I don't want a dry noodle. I need some sauce on it.
Oh, boy. You get to organize a music festival, and you get to pick your three... Fire Fest. The bungalows and the sandwiches. You get to pick your three headliners. Who are your three headliners?
Neil Diamond, because everybody likes to sing with him. Three headliners. This is the worst. My dad would be proud. Elvis Presley. That's who I walked down the aisle to. Love Me Tender.
Sure.
And then, I don't know, probably something fun like Usher, because he's from Atlanta.
Usher.
Could you imagine like Usher and Elvis doing something together?
That'd be fun. That'd be a fun time.
Yeah.
On a day that you get to take care of yourself, what does self-care look like for you?
Ooh, usually hiking. I want to be outside and with my dog, even if I have to carry her, because I know her little days are numbered. So
Yeah.
Being 12, almost 13. Yeah. So something like that. And I guess with my husband.
Yeah. I guess.
He knows.
He knows.
He knows I love him. So.
I hope so. What does success look like for you?
Ooh, success. Success looks like, and in my world, it's a lot by numbers, but I think also it's the time and effort put in where you can walk away and say that you were proud. So you might win an award, but you're not really sure why. Is that successful? Maybe, but is it more successful that I worked really hard with Brittany, whom unfortunately I don't know where she is today, but to me that was a success where something was able to change in her. So that won't win an award anywhere. That was a personal victory of my own. And I have a picture of another special needs student that I worked with that I carry in my wallet every day, because if I can make a difference in her, then that's successful.
I love that. That's awesome. What's something that very little people know about you?
Very little people know. Boy, I wish I had these questions in advance. I act like I love running, but I really don't like it. And I run all the time. I ran in high school. I was recruited and ran 1 year in college. I'm part of the run club now, but it is exhausting.
Yeah.
I like the social community of it.
Sure.
I
think a lot of people think that way about a lot of things. I think we don't really like doing a lot, but because we get to do it with other people, it's better.
Yes. Thank you. That makes me feel validated.
Oh, for sure.
The running community is weird. We support each other no matter who you're running for.
Right.
And that's where older people run road races and that's whatever. But even in high school and college, this girl named Honey, I could never get around Honey. Her name was Honey, and I think that was her last name. But I couldn't ever get around Honey. But you know what I did at the finish line? We gave each other a high five because we ran together at every meet. She always wore a black bow in her hair. Anyway,
definitely not upset about her at all.
Still not mad at her. But the running community, even we watched a movie recently about Prefontaine. If you don't know about Pre, he was slated to be the fastest runner in the world. He broke all of these records. Actually, the Nike shoe was created for him, that waffle shoe in Oregon. So even when Pre was running for the Olympics, even the Olympic runners would turn around and high five each other. What other sport do you physically try to beat the person next to you and then you shake each other's hand? Pretty impressive.
Yeah, that is impressive. I like that.
Yeah.
What is something that no amount of money will get you to do that you're just like never doing it, not touching it?
Maybe not a lot. I mean, I'm willing to go bungee jumping. I'm willing to swim with sharks if I'm in a gate or a cage or whatever that is. But maybe hurting someone. Maybe, $1 million. Would you slap your husband? Yeah. Would I hurt his feelings? No.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that video. That's like, the guy's like, would you punch your wife in the face for $50 billion? He's like, absolutely. He's like, $50 billion? Yeah. I'm punching her twice.
Well, maybe not twice. I mean, because he's just going to benefit from that money, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but hurting someone's feelings.
That's deep. I like that. Yeah. That's a good answer.
In movies, I don't want to see feelings hurt or dogs killed, right, or hurt.
Understood.
But people can be killed, fine. But the dogs or like, I'm not sure if you've seen The Help.
Great movie.
We've grown so much since that time, but the feeling, like, I still can't believe we lived in a time like that. So that cuts deeper than anything else. So. And
lastly, what is your greatest fear?
Actually, I was thinking about this the other day. So I grew up an only child, and I don't have cousins that are close to me. One lives in California, one lives in North Carolina. My greatest fear is that my parents die at the exact same time, and it always has been, and then I would be alone. I mean, I didn't get married until 2023, so it's always just been me. So no one else to lean on. So that's my greatest fear.
I understand that.
Well, I'm glad we're ending on a great note.
Right. If you want to go ahead and plug anything, if you want to plug Georgia Highlands, if you want to, anything you got going on, now's your time to advertise it.
Okay. Georgia Highlands, go Chargers. We actually have 2 times you can start in a semester, which is unique. So we have the January start. You can start again in March. You can start in May. You can start in July. You can start in August. You can start in October. You're only 8 weeks away from changing your future. So that's what we like to say. Small, I mean, no more than 10 in a classroom, and truly people who want the success of the student, not the number, which is nice, especially from where we came from. Not that, I mean, I worked there. I went there. Issue.
Sure.
Come to Cartersville, get outside, come and hike Pine Mountain, take your selfie with our our Coca-Cola sign. Go to Noble in Maine, and they work very hard to know everyone's order and to know your name when you walk in. So that's fun. That's a coffee shop, and they also make Danishes there on the spot too. And just enjoy your time and get out there and get off your phone and say hello to your family and friends, because you never know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I like that.
I think that's it. I hope.
I like that. Nothing.
Do another one.
You might have to. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Be kind. Be kind to your relatives, to your sister, to your brother. So.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Thank you so much for doing this. I know, wasn't it fun?
We'll do it in Cartersville next time.
I'd like to. In fact, I'm surprised, just like, because me being someone who's like kind of I hate the word entrepreneur because I feel like people throw it around so much. I like to say I'm a creative person. As a creative person, I think about like, why don't you do something with Cartersville? Like, what if you narrated like a 10... Maybe we discuss this offline.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we'll do that. I'm gonna save this for afterwards.
Oh,
but
one more thing I was supposed to plug. The Run Club.
Yes.
Wire to wire, because you run from a start to a finish. We meet every Tuesday night at 6:00. The locations move around the town, so the route doesn't get boring. If you're a runner, you run the same thing, you get crazy. So this Friday night is our social night. Anyone can come, bring your or not run. You could walk too. We have one woman who had hip surgery, and she's running a 30-minute 5K now.
Good for her.
70.
Wow, good for her.
You could be like me, who likes to watch her run by and cheer her on. But great community. Again, the running community is fun. But we will meet downtown at the Fountain of Cartersville, and then we usually pick up like Mellow Mushroom, and then now we go to Olive Tree and Vine and have either coffee, wine, or beer, or water, whatever you want. And then that's when people bring their partners, where they can bring their kids, and it's just community. And then every other night we bounce around. So the first Tuesday of the month is at Dellinger Park. So anyway, you follow us on Wire to Wire on Instagram or online, but that's the other plug. Definitely a good community if you just want to get plugged in and know people.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you again for being here. This was fun. I loved having you. This was I didn't know I was going to get educated on the history of Cartersville and Kennesaw, but I'm glad to have had it now. Now I know so much more than I ever could have hoped for the history of Bartow County. So we should do more. That'd be fun.
Sure.
Okay, I'm down.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Hooty-Hoo on 3.
Hooty-Hoo on 3.
1, 2, 3.
Hooty-Hoo. Guys, I will make sure to plug the Run Club and Georgia Highlands in the description of the episode. So if you're interested in learning more about either of those two organizations, you can get involved just by going to the links below and clicking on them to get there. Like I said at the top, follow on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn to find more ways to get connected with me and the podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.